I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Look Back. This is basically a video in which I go back and look at the reviews I did 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years ago and tell you what I think about those games today and if my ratings have changed or not. So let's go back to a year ago. First of all, I took a look at Monstrous. Now, Monstrous is a game with this gorgeous fantasy-style artwork on it, or I guess mythological artwork would be better. Like Greek gods, and you're throwing cards on a table, these different monsters, and trying to land on different cards, and whoever's most on a card will control that card. It's a fascinating idea, but it's clunky that you're always covering up the different special abilities. It's just basically random, and the artwork feels too serious to match the silliness of the theme. I just thought it was eh. Then I took a look at Conquest Stratego. This is 4-player Stratego. We finally solved the age-old problem. Probably not. It's very, very light, but there are cards in this game that let you do different things. The pieces are pretty cool where you can only see them if you're looking from a specific direction. And yeah, you're playing 4-player Stratego, so decent enough. Then we have Pakka. This is from Renegade Games, in which you are trying to put different patterns on a board, and when you score that pattern, you can get different potions, which will give you special abilities. It's a very, very simple game, but I found it enjoyable. Then Descent Mists of Biohall. This is another expansion for Descent with some more nasty monsters and dual classes. So yeah, yay, I like that. Room 25. This was actually not the first time I reviewed it, but this was the newer version of Room 25. If you've ever seen the horrible horror movie The Cube, in which there's rooms of a cube moving around and death traps in them, that's what this is. You're in a 5x5 grid, and there's rooms moving all over the place, and some of them are deadly. And if you play, and you should play with the basically the variant where one person is a traitor, it's a lot of fun. Then I also took a look at the expansion, which is called Season 2, which adds robots and other things in there, more tiles, so lots of fun. And that one, I really, really enjoyed that. Then I took a look at Blood Rage, Gods of Asgard. There's an expansion for Blood Rage, which lets you put a god out on the board in different spots, and that god will basically change the rule for that spot. This is almost a guaranteed thing that we play with these days, because it just adds flavor and variation to the game. Then there's Legendary Captain America. I like Legendary a lot. Captain America added some new mechanisms, and it also added Captain America, multiple Captain Americas, and just some of his characters. It was a really good small expansion for Marvel Legendary. Then Thunder and Lightning. This is a great game. 2-player game. It's a remake of Hera and Zeus from Richard Borg. From Z-Man Games, it is a definitive remake. The cards are beautiful. This is a great 2-player Stratego-ish card game, trying to find one card in your opponent's hand or on the board. Where did they put it? It is really well done. Then we have, finally, Dice Masters Civil War. Of course, I like Dice Masters. I like the Civil War is one of my favorite storylines, so a lot of different characters in this one were fun for me, and of course, it's more Dice Masters, so no need to go farther. Let's go now 5 years ago. I only reviewed one game 5 years ago, and that was Wiz War. Now, you'd think Wiz War would be like tailor-made for me. It's chaotic, it's crazy, you're moving wizards around, casting spells. Someone said if Tom likes Cosmic Encounter, he would like Wiz War. I barely liked it. This game barely gets a 6. It is just way too chaotic for me. Melody likes it more than I do, but just moving your piece around and playing spells, it just felt like you were kind of doing what happens. There's fun to it. I won't argue that. That's why it gets the 6 and not a 5, but it's really close to that 5. 10 years ago, I took a look at TieUp Iron for the first time. TieUp Iron is a huge box. When I first saw it, I was like, wow. And I really liked a lot of aspects to it, moving the tanks around, putting the pieces. You could build your squad. And it's a good tactical combat that kind of goes down to tanks and men. A little too complex for what it is, and yet at the same time, not as complex as other games out there that do probably a very similar thing. It has a lot of neat pieces, but I think it's going to be replaced as the years go by. And I also took a look at Age of Steam 1830s Pennsylvania and Northern California. This was just another map for that game. Very good. I like alternate maps for Age of Steam. I don't play Age of Steam that much these days, but this was actually probably one of my favorite maps for it. Folks, let's look back. The games I reviewed a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been The Dice Tower.